You know, this area, we are standing on the highest elevation in the Forbidden City. From here, we can view 3 tallest buildings in Beijing from 600 years ago until now. 500 or 600 years ago, that palace with the tallest building stands in the Forbidden City. The tallest building, 36 meters tall. 20 or 30 years ago, that building, but a little bit misty, we can now see it on that side. If the weather permits, we will be seeing a high, tall building that's like a TV tower, 465 meters tall. Nowadays, that building, you can still see the outline of that building over there. The tallest building, 中国尊, 530 meters tall, completed in 2018. 108 stories above the ground, 7 stories below the surface. Okay, that building over there. And there's another clock tower. You see that? There's a clock tower building. That's the first shopping mall established in Beijing in 1950s, after the founding of the People's Republic of China. That area is a shopping street, Wangfujing Street. Your hotel located in that area. Tom, which hotel are you staying at?
Super 8.
Super 8?
Yeah.
Oh, far from here?
No.
Not from here. Okay.
That's the name of the station. Anyway.
How did you get here this morning? Didi? You walked too? Okay. So the place is a shopping street or walking street, like the 5th Avenue of Beijing. Very busy, bustling area with a lot of restaurants. So you can go there, grab something to eat. What are the most popular cuisines in Beijing? What? Kaoya, roast duck, that's the one. And the number 2?
The tripa.
Very nice, hot pot. 3?
Tripa. Don't remember that.
Yeah.
The inner.
No. Wait, do you eat that? Do you dare to eat the intestines or tripe?
In Italy, I'm used to do that.
You really?
Here, I haven't tried.
Yeah, you can try that here. Yeah, that's a part of the popular, but not that popular. The third stuff should be dumpling.
Oh, yeah.
Dumpling and Beijing noodles. The 4 types of those cuisines are the most popular ones in Beijing. You can actually find all those kind of restaurants in that area. Okay, now we have finished the tour in the outer court. Now we're heading our way out of that gate, and then we'll be seeing the inner court and continue the tour to the inner court.
Just one quick question. What were used to do in the Imperial, I mean the main building?
Yeah, here celebrated their birthdays, Chinese New Year, and also the ascending ceremony to the new emperor.
Okay.
They didn't use that palace very often, only 3 or 4 times throughout the whole year.
Okay.
So that's why it's pretty empty inside. There's nothing inside, right?
3 or 4 times.
Yeah, 3 or 4 times in the year. They spend most of their time in the inner court. Now we're heading into the inner court. Okay? Let's go that way. So by going through that gate, we'll be seeing the inner palace over the inner court, the living quarter for the emperors, for their empresses, and thousands of pretty ladies. Okay? Let's go that way. Here is the place where the emperor and their ladies are hanging out all the time. Male officials, they do not allow to come in without the permission from the emperor. So that palace over here, the Hall of Heavenly Purity, that is the palace where the emperors resided in the Ming and early Qing dynasties. That building is divided into 3 parts. The middle part was used as the office of the emperor, where the emperor handled the daily affairs, gave audiences to those high-ranking officials, and the west and east chambers were the places where the emperor slept at night on every night basis. People put 27 beds in those 2 chambers. 27 beds. Yeah, because the emperor didn't want people to know where they were sleeping at night. In 1542, in the Ming Dynasty, there was a Ming emperor, Emperor Jiajing. He was nearly being assassinated by those palace girls. Those little girls, between the age of 13 to 17, they snuck into this palace, tried to strangle the emperor to death, but they failed and were arrested and given the death penalty eventually. After that incident, emperor put 27 beds in those 2 chambers to avoid of being assassinated again, which served as a tradition to the end of the Qing dynasty. And the last major event ever held here was on December 1st, 1922, the wedding ceremony for the last emperor. There are a lot of small buildings that stand around this courtyard. The one over here with the door open, that was the place. It's called Jing Shi Fang, which could be translated as the office of respectful affairs, where those eunuch, the head eunuch, the leader of eunuchs work at. Their job was to write down the emperor's daily activities. What the emperor said, what the emperor did on that day, they need to write a daily detailed record. And every day after having dinner, those eunuchs would offer a tray to the emperor, which contains many name tags of this lady, like chopsticks. Each of these carries a name of those ladies. If the emperor wants to sleep with a lady from this tree, he would pick up a name tag, flip it over, and give it to the eunuch. The eunuch would hold this name tag and run to the lady's residence, get the lady noticed. So the lady would take the bath, put on the perfume, and being escorted by the eunuch into this palace, where they slept with the emperor for 2 hours maximum. Only 2 hours. Only the empress had the privilege to sleep through the whole night with the emperor, but not the other regular consort. Okay? To prevent the emperor from overexerting their body, because they had so many ladies. Whenever they had those intimate activities, they would write down the exact date and time for the future verification of the pregnancy. That's the system. Let's go up and take a look at this emperor's residence. So here you can take a look at the plaque. You see that plaque, which bears the name of this building, which is written in 2 languages, both Chinese and Manchurian. Manchurian, they had their own culture, they have their own language, they have their own characters as well. So most of the plaques we see in the inner court were written in 2 languages, both Chinese and Manchurian. So you can go up to the door and take a look and take a picture and come back to this place. Next, we are going to visit the lady's residence over there. Okay, you see the lady's residence. Okay, let's hold on a second over here. This way, here. Come on, gentlemen, over here. So here was the only place those consort, the concubine, the palacemen can hang out a little bit. They do not allow to go to the outer court, go to the other places. They can only, relax a while in this area. Those small buildings over here. So there were the temporary living quarters over the guardhouse, lived by those eunuch. The eunuch was the only male work in this area, but technically they were not male. They were not men. Is that right? So let's have a look at this, the picture of the eunuch. They are very young. Is that right? Yeah. Poor boys. So they have the similar clothes and a similar hat. So what other similarities do they have?
They don't have the penis.
That's right. Besides on their appearance, what do they have in common? What similarities do they have? On their face, so smooth, no beard, no mustache, very smooth, because their body part was removed. Make their body cannot secrete enough hormone to grow the beard. That's why their faces are so smooth.
When this tradition started?
Nobody knows exactly the time, but at least 3,000 years. The emperor, do you know why they hired so many eunuchs? Because the emperor had so many ladies. A lot of work, tough work, need to be done by men, by strong men. But they are afraid that those people may mess around with their ladies. That's why they have to be castrated and work here. So around 3,000 years.
Were they physically as strong as men?
Yeah, they could be like strong as men.
Yeah.
Their voice changed. No beard, but they were very strong.
Still strong.
Yes, still very strong.
It sounds to me so complex and delicate and difficult to make such an operation.
Yeah,
Like a surgery 3,000, 2,000, 1,000 years ago.
yeah, right. But they don't care that much about the human's life, whether you live or die.
Maybe 80% they die with the
Yeah,
operation.
even 90% of die, they still kept 10%.
Enough.
Enough work for their inner core. So that's kind of cruel and barbarous act toward those little boys. Abolished in 1911.
No anesthetics, I'm pretty sure.
They do have that kind of anesthesia, anesthesia, herbal stuff, but doesn't work that efficient. Just make you get numb, but not very efficient. So very cruel. Those families, they offer the boys into those places where they be castrated. They can get a portion of money, of the monthly payment from the royal family, to get some food to support the family.
Could the women from this court ever leave the palace?
No.
Could they ever go outside?
Technically, no. But the palace girl can go outside. Palace girl, they can go outside of the Forbidden City, but still stay inside the Forbidden City. But after 3 or 5 years of serving the court, they can go home and find a person to marry. That is the only case for the palace maid, but not the consort or concubine.
Yeah. Did they need the permission of the emperor?
That's right.